The noise insulation in our house was not very good. The walls were as thin as cardboard, and I could clearly hear all the sounds from the neighbors, the muffled hum of the television late at night, the sharp clink of dishes being washed, and even the soft murmur of arguments that seemed to seep through the walls. The whole rhythm of their lives seemed to be unfolding right in my ears, leaving no chance for imagination and no room for privacy. This time there was a sharp slamming of the door. My favorite neighbor William must have had another fight with his wife. Their marriage always seemed strained, marked by harsh words and a cold silence that echoed in the walls. I often overheard them arguing. The bitterness in their voices was unmistakable, and it made me wonder how much longer they could endure such unhappiness together. It wasn't the first time, and I was sure it wouldn't be the last. My heart raced as I realized this was my chance. I couldn't put it off any longer. I turned to the mirror, examining my reflection with a mixture of curiosity and determination. Staring back at me was a young woman in her 20s, her skin pale and flawless, pure and white as porcelain, like an untouched canvas waiting to be painted. Her hair, cascading like the first snow, gently framed my face, and I couldn't help but run my fingertips along the curve of her cheek. My heart raced when I saw the innocence and anticipation in my own eyes. The faint scent of lavender from the dressing table hung in the air, making me ready for what was to come. My hair flowed in a cascade like the first snow, light and soft. Taking a deep breath, I took my mascara and lipstick and carefully applied them to emphasize my features. I had internalized this ritual well, creating a semblance of effortless beauty. When I was finally satisfied with the way I looked, I made my move. I walked up to William's door with a mixture of nervousness and excitement, my heart pounding in my chest. Knocking timidly, I waited, holding my breath. The door opened almost immediately, and there he was, my secret lover. There was no trace of sadness in his eyes, quite the opposite. He looked like a huge weight had been lifted off of him, and I was happy to see him like that. "Hey Will, it's been a while, hasn't it?" I said, crinkling the corners of my mouth in a playful smile. He replied with a smirk that turned into a full, mischievous grin. "Good evening," he said. "Do you need something?" Looking him straight in the eye, I gathered my courage. "You know, I'm studying to be a pastry chef," I began. "I made a cake, but living alone, I have no one to taste it. You're the only person I trust who can give me an honest opinion. Why don't you have tea or coffee with me?" William's love of sweets was well known, and he couldn't resist the offer. Soon we were walking together to my apartment, which I had decorated in soft whites and pastels to make it seem cozy and inviting. As we walked in, I turned to him with a teasing smile. "I hear you like chocolate," I giggled, deliberately smearing some chocolate on my cheek as I carried the cake. It wasn't an accidental, but a calculated gesture, a playful signal to get his attention. I wanted to see if he would notice, if he would react to my small, intimate sign. My heart raced slightly as I felt the excitement of testing the waters, the delightful anticipation of what might happen next. It was a small, calculated move to draw him closer. "Wait," he said, pitching forward, "you've got something here." His fingers ran gently down my cheek, wiping away the chocolate. His warm touch sent a blush running down my neck and cheeks that turned pink like blossoming flowers. Our faces were so close that I could feel the soft rhythm of his breathing. His fingers lingered on my skin, and I felt a burning warmth emanating from his touch. It was electricity, a spark that ignited my heart. He took his time, and so did I. There was a teasing glint in his eyes, giving away the game he was involved in. His hand moved slowly from my cheek to my shoulders, then to my collarbones and hips. Each touch was deliberate. He savored the connection between us. I trembled under his caresses, my breath catching when he, well, you know what I mean. I didn't resist. I welcomed it. I'd waited so long for this moment, and now it had come. The silk fabric of my pajamas slid smoothly off my shoulders, exposing pale skin dotted with delicate freckles and moles. His touch grew more and more confident, and the passion between us flared like a hot fire. A quiet smile escaped my lips as his hands moved, and I gave myself over to the moment. Time seemed to stop as we lost ourselves in the undeniable bond we shared. It was the culmination of everything I had hoped for, and its intensity took my breath away. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe to learn more.